Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hi, Deweese.
Hi, Jade. How are you?
I'm good.
It's good.
Went to physical therapy today and got my butt kicked by my therapist. I'm a little sore now tonight. So anyway, glad to see everybody in the chat. Thank you guys. You guys were even in here early talking. Let's see who's all here quick. Ed Brinkman, Walter from Down Under's here. Hey, Walter. Bill H., John Wayne, Randy Milstead, Kramer, Justin, our usuals. Isn't everybody done flying by now? Isn't it dark out and she's supposed to be sitting on the couch? Duckspit. Haven't seen you around lately, Duckspit. So, but thanks for joining. Hopefully we get some more. We've got a good guest tonight.
Yep.
So make sure you make a comment and give a thumbs up for our guest tonight. And we'll give away another keychain or sticker. See what you guys are interested in tonight. So, all right, let's invite Billy Cole into the show. Hey, Billy.
Hey, hello, girls.
How are you?
I'm always great, always.
Good. So, I guess thank you for skipping work tonight.
Yeah. This is a, we're ambassadors here, and we need to profess this wonderful sport.
Yeah.
That's
so
true.
What kinds of sports, I should say, for you do you do? I listed a couple, but not all of them, I don't think.
You flying, you mean?
Yeah. Or anything. Tell us about you.
Yeah. And I saw in that monologue or entourage, whatever you showed there, it's kind of reminiscing of her. I should have been flying this evening before dark. I fly as much as I can, whenever I can. But gosh, I have two primary loves, three if you count the PPG. And I use terms PPG, PPC, right? Does everybody know what that is?
Yep.
Right. And then I have a conventional airplane, Zenith Zenair 601 XL, made in Canada. I like the PPG, but I like the PPC. I like the PPC because I can take a passenger. I think that's, again, we're ambassadors, and I'd much rather fly with a passenger than alone. And then I have my fixed wing is same thing. It's a side by side versus a tandem, front to rear. And right now, I stopped by yesterday. Right now, it's in the shop. Airplanes, same with powered parachutes. Certified airplanes, tail numbers have to have an annual physical. Okay, and mine's it's nothing wrong with it, but it's in the shop for another week, completing that physical. Hopefully, no hidden things, no problems. And then, so then I have a tendency to fly the powered parachute more, and that reignites my love. I get out there and I get low, and it's exhilarating. Safety is important. Of course, you got to scan. You have to do a good scan. All poles have wires. All buildings have wires. So you have to really be conservative looking at the wires. But they don't. You go down there, and new territory, just short of touching wheels on the ground by regulation, we're allowed to. And then I get in my conventional airplane. I'm doing 100, plus, and I can go someplace. So there's two. It's like I'm dating two different women.
That's a good comparison.
All right. I think you'd get along with some of these guys in here. Oh.
The powered parachute and the powered paragliders is much more temperamental on the surface winds. So yeah, as everybody knows, it's a morning PM thing for the most part. Although yesterday I launched at 10:30 in the morning, and that was an experience. Then that was probably a 30-minute flight, but so I'm desperate. I've been doing this a long time, and I'm still addicted, and I'm desperate. So, we're watching the winds. I use Windy. The app Windy is my favorite because I understand it, and I can really in detail track what the weather is going to be on a fine detail. As all your audience know that, right? they all know how sensitive powered parachutes and powered paragliders are. Yes.
I do. Yep.
I
I'm pretty
didn't really
sure.
realize that PPCs had to have an annual. I never really thought about that.
If they're certified, not all of them are certified. If they have a tail number, a license
Yeah,
plate,
if they have a
it's
tail
called
number, they do.
if they got a November number, they have to be certified annually.
Right, right.
And naked, just to look and touch. My where I in North Carolina, it's $500 with no problems. Versus the conventional look and touch here where I'm at is $1,200 for my airplane. From $1,200. Well, last year that became $5,700, and that's where I'm at right now. I want my airplane back, but I also want to know what the bill's going to be. So I'm curious if there's anything wrong, any needs. They give you a list of should improve and must improve. That's kind of how it works in both platforms. The PPC and the annually it's got to be inspected. So I see on YouTube, or it's not YouTube, I see on the interweb people buying or looking to buy a system, and they ask, is this safe? And they show. Well, if it doesn't have a tail number, that means it probably doesn't have a logbook, and you cannot track the history. You don't much know. Now I'd fly it because I'd fly anything, but as far as purchasing it, but if you're unregulated, then you're more limited where you can fly. I think it chokes you if you're not certified, I believe.
Okay. Oh, one more thing. Tell us about Gun 101, because if my parents are maybe watching, I know my dad's a big gun person, so he'd be interested in that. And I think a couple other people would be too. Tell us about that.
Well, I did 30 years in the Army, and I'm
Wow.
an expert. I'm not just an expert. That's a joke in the Army, expert shooter, but I'm a high level medium level competition shooter. And through the years, I've realized the value in it. But I do want to, just a slight, I don't make any money off this, but really what I would highly recommend for a lot of people who aren't currently active shooting is a pepper gel gun, not that spray. The spray's crap. Throw it away. A pepper gel gun. Let me, if I can, shamelessly promote Pepper Blaster 2, made by Kimber. Well, it's sold by Kimber, and it's got two 14 millimeter shells that shoot a projectile almost via air, like an airbag, and at 12 feet, it's a 2-foot beach ball, blinds the guy for 45 or 50 minutes. By far, that is $40. Amazon, get 2 of them, get 4 of them. That is by far the best thing. Now, I carry 2 guns and a pepper blaster. I always have this on me for self-defense. I'm a self-defense. That's kind of what I do. I've killed a bunch of deer and I've shot tin cans, but from a self-defense perspective, when I got out of the Army, I guess, or tail end of the Army, I started gun101.com and out of North Carolina. But I've trained in Florida. I've trained in Michigan. I think I did a class in Wisconsin once, but largely I stay local, and we teach. I have all the NRA credentials. I have all of those, but I don't teach that platform because I think whoever makes their rules and guidance are not real shooters. They go out and shoot and they kill the paper. They just really kill that paper. But you've got to move, and you got to shoot and move, and many places don't permit that. So shoot, move, communicate. You've got to move. Once you shot once, they know where you're at. They're going to dump. It's like the people think you take a shotgun, you rack the shotgun to scare them. Well, in my world, you just told me where you were.
Right.
If it was dark, that tells me where to throw the lead at. That it's ridiculous. It's just people don't understand. President Biden, maybe when he was a governor, or maybe he was a vice, he says, you take the shotgun and just shoot out back of the house and scare people or something. It's not valid. It just doesn't work. We need to, bad guys are opportunity people, and we need to be in a position to neutralize that threat quickly, and that's competent. I teach confidence and competence. I make people good shooters and confident shooters. I believe if I was president, all concealed carries would shoot a box a month, 1 box a month minimum to maintain that currency. Last month I shot 1,700 rounds, 1,700 to 2,000 to maintain proficiency. Again, if you don't have that, you can't establish that. Pepper Blaster 2 is a great self-defense weapon. Guy's blind, he can't do much. But if you're in the Carolina area or nearby, or if someone were to sponsor a class in another state, I'd be happy. I'm certified. I have all the certifications to come there and teach. That's kind of that was my job when I got out of the Army, and I'm doing less and less of that nowadays. But I also love shooting. Shooting is it's also adrenaline, if you think about it. And that's why we fly, because of releasing endorphins, and shooting's the same way. Being shot at is extremely exhilarating.
I'll bet.
Okay.
It's just, you can't, my first time, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't comprehend. I had a partner with me, Shelton, and are they shooting at us? I think they are. It took 2 minutes this is years ago, I was a kid, took 2 minutes to realize you're getting shot at. So it's just not like on YouTube, people, ask somebody ask your audience how many times you have to shoot somebody. And you'll often hear once, and that's not the case. It's commonly 6. If you got a 9mm 6, 45 3, if you've got a 22, you shoot them 22 times. That's why they call it a 22. But you've got to be observant. You got to be observant. If you're in a ghetto area, we got South Durham here down, and you're at an ATM machine at midnight with a "Make America Great" hat on, you should be observant. You should be you should be checking your 6. You should be ready for a fight. In church, it's less of it in church. But I'm a very strong advocate of gun control is used in both hands.
That's true. I agree with that.
Do
we have a question in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Justin wanted to know, why would you get it certified, get a PPC certified versus not getting it certified?
Well, generally you would purchase it certified. It's difficult to certify one after the fact, but it's also difficult to find one that's not certified. The FAA, like PPGs, you don't need training. The age, I don't think there's any age requirement. I think a 12-year-old could buy one and just go out and fly. I wouldn't recommend that. What happens is when you got another person riding with you, now you've got precious cargo, and that's where the FAA does get involved. So they want you to go by rules, and they want you to fly a responsible platform, and it's better. You got a logbook of all the entries, anything you've done. I tore my wing, and I had to get a patch put on. I put that in the logbook. So you got more of an itemized explanation. You're kind of renegade without one. And I don't know what the percentages of people who do not have registered powered parachutes, but I'm sure I've seen them. But they're I don't want to say outlaws, but and there's still a lot of conflict on this, and I don't know the answer. I'm not GATO, or I'm not FSDO or FAA, and I don't speak their rules. But if you want to go to fly at an airport, like, I'd be curious what your position is on flying at a county airport that's taken federal funds. If you've got a certified airplane, and you're certified, you're licensed, you have to be a sport pilot or higher. They can't stop you. They can absolutely not stop you from flying. There's nothing they can do. That's an advantage in my book, don't you think?
Yep.
You've been turned down? Have you been turned down at airports any of your people?
I haven't attempted to fly with a N number.
No, but flying a PPG at an airport. Have you flown at airports?
I've been turned down to fly at an airport, yes.
Yeah, some of them are cool and you can do it, no question. It depends on the manager. But they cannot stop you if you're certified. Your airplane's certified and you're certified. And current physical, well, with a sport license, you only need a driver's license. But if if you're current, and your aircraft is current, they can't stop you. That to me means a lot. In answer to the gentleman was his question, certification allows you to fly at any airport in America that has been federally funded. I mean, that's 90% of them. That would be the major perk, I'd say.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to the gun stuff. Ed says I'll pick flying over getting shot at every time.
Well, but has he been shot at? We don't know what we enjoy. We don't know until we do it. And endorphins is what we're at. This is what I mean, that's the bottom line. We're not all alpha males, but we're alpha male likes. We do this to the release of endorphins. Would we all agree?
Yeah, but can you actually like getting shot at?
I like the excitement. I did. It's been a long time.
Adrenaline rush.
Yeah, you
I like the
adrenaline.
I like the adrenaline. Yeah, it's all about adrenaline. We were to a point. I don't know if I should say this, but we were going to Iraq. Firstly, I was in Iraq. It was by an accident. I thought it was in Saudi Arabia, but it was occupied Kuwait, and that's where they shot at us. And it was so exhilarating. I didn't know there's no sign "Welcome to Kuwait." It was so exhilarating. We ended up going in. We ended up setting up teams and going in. We call kick the hornet's nest to get in there and see how deep we can go to chase that adrenaline, to chase that. I mean, it's not for everybody, but same with skydiving. Skydiving, that's a massive endorphin rush right there, right?
Right.
I got shrapnel twice. Wasn't exactly shot, but it was shrapnel twice.
Oh, well, but what shrapnel?
Shrapnel from bullets.
From bullets? Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, well, not at the time. It was scary at the time.
I think what concerned me the most by far was getting captured and becoming a POW, because you're not flying or doing anything as a POW. So that really concerns me. Shrapnel, getting come on, that had to have been fun. It had to have been.
It was a little adrenaline rush at the
time.
Yeah,
adrenaline. That's why we're in this business, I believe.
I see Kramer says she got shot once. I wonder what. Okay, Kramer, we got to know that story. Why did you get shot?
Yeah, maybe we can get her to come on later and she can tell.
Yeah, she'll have to tell us that story.
Walter, who lives in Australia, he says he flies a PPC certified plus licensed. We're covered for $10 million for any property damage. That's a big plus.
Recovered. What does that mean?
So they must have to pay a big insurance.
Has insurance for 10 million?
Yeah, he gets like a 10 million coverage for any property damage.
Yeah, and I can't even spell Australia. I don't know their rules, but I could pretend to know. So they're saying that's a caveat. You can fly here, but you have to have insurance.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm asking. I guess I'd ask him. Is that's
okay.
Is that a government? I'm sorry, Jade. Go ahead.
No, I was just telling him to explain that in the chat.
Yeah, is that a government requirement or is that a civil? Who requires? What'd you say? $10 million? That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, for property damage.
$10 million. That's $150 a month in insurance.
Bill H says it does make him feel better after he flies. So that's
It's a
little
fix.
adrenaline rush.
It's a fix. You walk away, and I talk to my airplanes. When I say hello, when I walk, I have a hanger. I say hello, girls, and when I leave, I thank them. I thank them for what they just gave me. They're machines. I know that's silly, but yeah, and you're high for another hour or so, maybe.
Okay, you're the first person I've heard. My paramotor is a boy, and you're
a boy.
Yes, it is. It's a boy.
What's his name?
Max.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep, it is.
Because you should love them. These are vehicles that save your life. You should love them. This isn't a bicycle. This is something that you need a relationship with, if that makes any sense. And, you need to clean them. You need to tune them. I have a dog. Jade saw my dog. She is max vet. She has everything she needs to make sure she is healthy. No hesitation. Anything she needs, she's at the vet. Well, with the airplane, anything it needs, I'm going to take care of it, or PPG, PPC, any aerial platform, because it's kind of got your life in its seat.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. You fly a trike?
Okay.
PPG?
My PPG has a trike attached to it. Good point. Because I'm old. It's 65 pounds.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, we had 65-pound rucksacks, and we'd go on a 20-mile road march with 65 pounds. But them days are kind of gone now.
Yeah.
Well, Deweese, mine was a bird.
It was, wasn't it?
Flying flamingo.
Flying flamingo. That's right.
That's cool.
And it crashed.
That's correct.
That's pretty cool.
That's correct.
I taught skydiving for 100 years. I'm a high-level, it's called an accelerated free fall instructor examiner. High as you can go. And I had a tent, kind of keep my parachute system is for my students. And I'd always, this is in Germany a lot, in different countries, I'd always have what I call mingos. I'd have flamingos on these sticks sitting outside my tent, always. So the Germans, the people got to know me, that mingo guy.
Cool.
Okay,
Nice.
everybody in the chat, who's got a name for their paramotor? I see Scuba says his is Scuba Are You.
Scuba are you?
Everybody's got some kind of a name for their paramotor. Come on.
LH, what's yours?
And what's their gender?
Yeah, Scuba's male. He's a male.
Yeah. Scuba Steve. What's yours? Walter, have a name? Okay, here's Walter's response to you. Yes, mandatory in Australia. Covers all pilots here, included in our license fee.
Okay, so fixed wings pilot, it's not a discrimination thing. All pilots have to have that.
Yeah, so it was like a mandatory fee.
That's what I don't
sounds
like. I don't like it when they try to discriminate against the powered parachute because it's not like them. Paragliders, that's a different story. You don't have a radio. You don't understand, it's one thing bothers me. They don't fly the pattern. They don't understand avionics and verbiage, making them a little bit dangerous. And them being me now, I'm a PPG pilot, so don't get me wrong.
Okay, here's some names. So Walters in Australia is named Priority 1. Bill H he calls her Sweetheart. And Justin, my invisible paramotor's name is Please Buy Me. Shane Planet, Shane, come on, you got to come up with something now. Duckspit, are you still out there? Tell us. John Wayne, are you out there?
See there, my truck is a boy. That's Kramer.
Joe and Aaron, what are yours? And let's see. Cope J, are you still in here? And Ed, what do you got for names? So, this is fun.
Everybody's got a name for
But
them.
don't you agree? Don't they deserve that respect and
Yes.
deserve a name, like a girlfriend or something?
Yeah,
or
John
a
Wayne
loved
said
one?
no name.
I think to me they're so important. I mean, a lot of countries, a lot of people can't have them.
That's true.
So I think we're just blessed. I think we're truly blessed to have this in America, this level of freedom. I think this is as free as you can get.
Yeah, you're right. I do too. Shane, my Piper is called the Banana because I'm so clever. The motor frame is simply Gook for the brand. I didn't realize it's derogatory too. Gook. Oh well.
And
Keep it to
Duck Smith
yourself.
says, baby, that's the name. You baby her, she
Take care
takes
of you.
care of you.
That's right.
Right on. All right, so let's go on to, oh, Ed says Maverick
Cool.
Factory. I don't name the wings either. Okay. All right, so let's go on to skydiving. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's really how this all started. And again, I got to go back to the ambassador of in the air. I'm from Lansing, Michigan, but I lived as a boy. I lived in Portland, Michigan. It's a little redneck town, nothing. And I was 9 years old, and there's this huge field across the yard, huge football field, and some other. And I remember an airplane flying over, and four jumpers got out, pretty high up. I can't remember. And back then, those were round parachutes, and this memory serves me. They all flew past the drop zone, the DZ, or it could be LZ for landing zone. But one of them landed in a tree, stone's throw from my house, and stuck in this tree. So I walked up and I'm talking to him about this, and I can't remember what the conversation was, but nobody got hurt. But I was just so amazed at this. It was just in my blood. So days later, my mom catches me on the roof with like a bed sheet. I'm going to jump off the roof. It wouldn't have been a good idea, but it was in my blood. It was locked in because I saw that. That sold me as a young'un because it's part of my makeup anyways. And I got into, I was a boy, and then I got into racing dirt bikes. I got into dirt bikes and racing dirt bikes at 18 or so, started racing cars. And I'm always looking for this adrenaline rush. And I joined the Army at the tender age of 17. And we don't get paid much. But so I started making a buck, and I went out and made a skydive. And my first one, and was 100% hooked. Absolutely, this was the greatest thrill. And then added on a bunch more, and then I was already Army, so I went to Army jump school. I had 200 jumps when I went to jump school, and get with that P identifier. And then that allowed me to cut orders to go to Fort Bragg. Well, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, it's a beast. It's a machine. These are, serious testosterone people there, and they had three sport parachute clubs: 18th Airborne Corps, 82nd, and Special Forces had. Back then we had UH-1H helicopters jump out of for free. So imagine getting this fix 8-10 times a day, Saturday and Sunday. So it came time to re-enlist. I turned down a bonus here. I was going to get out, but man, free airplanes, free helicopters, and then close to Raeford drop zone. And Wednesday we would go out there for a midweek high and pay for jumps, or we'd commonly leave the drop zone once we got that adrenaline going and buy a couple more jumps out at Raeford. And that was my life. I climbed the ladder, everything there is in jumping. That was my thing, and started teaching accelerated. I taught rope, but I taught accelerated free fall. Made a bunch of money doing it. And then I was team captain for the World Skydiving Meet in Gap, France. What year was that? 96, I think, 96. And I just plateaued out of it. And I don't know, you get old, you get broken a lot. You have a lot of surgeries. It's just, you play with fire, you're going to get burnt. And so I filtered away from it. Base jumps, Fayetteville, I saw that in one of your videos. Fayetteville, West Virginia, the bridge up there. We jumped that for years. I jumped that bridge. And I go up there now, I watch and take pictures, but last week or 2 weeks ago, I had a dear friend of mine died, so I had to attend the funeral. So, but next year I'll be there. In fact, that bridge was opened 22 October, 1977. And that was the day I made my first jump. So I kind of feel a connection with that bridge. Really a tremendous thing to see if anybody lives in that area. Third Saturday in October. This next year will be on 22. Tremendous thing to see these kids jumping off this this bridge. Just amazing. And the course also, I started flying. I started picking up flying, and then I was out at Raeford Drop Zone, which is Gene Paul Thacker was the owner. He's dead now, and I said, "Hey, Gene Paul, can I fly? Can I fly jumpers?" And he strapped a 172 to me, and his boy took me out and flew. And I come down, he says, in a month, I want you got to have, because it's a commercial operation. I'll give you 30 days to get a commercial pilot's license. I mean, that's kind of impossible. A private is 40 hours, a commercial is 250, just on hours alone. How am I going to do that? He said, he said, fly 1 and log 7. I remember him saying that, but I didn't have to. We flew 10-hour days, 7, 8, 9, 10-hour days. And I got on my hours, and I got a 2-day cram course on the commercial rating. And then I went and took a RIT on a Wednesday, and it was 5 weeks. It took me 5 weeks, but I was a at the time, just a commercial pilot in flying jumpers. So I'm flying jumpers, and I'm jumping in between. You don't get a better life than that. That's a fix. That's adrenaline dump right there. And that, if you look at it in the day.
Yep.
I know I was making money. I was making, gosh, $4,000 a weekend looking back. That was a chunk of change.
Yeah, no kidding.
So how many jumps do you have?
I mean, just a little over 7,000.
Little over.
Yeah, 73, something like that. 70, close to 73.
So Paul Marzano, he lives in the Vegas area. He said him and his brother have been skydivers in the past, and he said, I've said it 1,000 times, nothing better than the climb out.
Climbing out of the aircraft. Yeah, it's pretty exciting for the pilot too, by the way. Nothing more exciting than that moment, that highest moment of climbing out and uncertainty. Yeah, I think so. And it's him and his brother. That's very rare to have, two boys get that same gene, that need for speed. Ask them how many jumps they got now.
Paul,
Or are they still jumping?
I don't know if anymore. They got into PPG, triking. They fly a trike like I showed you that I had. So
Yeah, it would have been mixter if I had that. It might have been available when I was in my prime. My plate was pretty full. I think I would have had it would have been a good thing. But again, you're kind of limited to AM and PM. So, then I'm chasing jumps in between. People get hurt on those things too.
So Walter in Australia says, Billy, you're an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, well, I'm not anymore. Now I fly normal. I don't know if I should say this. I know you got 1 million followers, but when I was a kid, I'd get these rental airplanes and like kicking the hornet's nest going into Iraq. I wonder if I could put a skid mark on that water tower. I wonder if I can do that. And that's what was the most scary was someone could see my tail number. I wasn't scared about hitting the water towers. So you know what? I'm going to do this. And there's a handful of them out there. If you ever come across, you see the skid marks going north to south. Okay, those are mine. North to south. And I remember kicking pine cones. I remember renting an airplane, going out and stopping at Raeford as I was a student pilot, and I would pull the pine cones and needles out of my wheel wells before I went back to turn the airplane in. Yeah. So I was younger, young and dumb, but now I'm conservative. Now I take my airplane to church and back every weekend.
Planet Shane says, does Billy suggest having emergency rope in a PPG to rappel from a tree should the need arise?
I would much rather avoid the tree. Gosh. To have a rope to come down. To me, it's, what are the statistical odds? How often does that happen?
Once in a lifetime.
Yeah. The number one cause of death for PPGs and Cs is accidental drownings. So flotation would be pretty important,
Right.
I think in flotation, I think the reserve for high performance PPGs. I just don't see trees being because at 100 miles an hour, I got this airplane. I've got to find a parking spot. I need some space. I've had a few engine outs and with the C, and well, you can park it on a dime. So unless you're skimming the trees and have an out, but I call it puddle skipping, and you guys may do this and not know it, but when you take off and you got these trees, I'll get some altitude, and what I'll do is even though I'm going, let's say I'm going straight north, I'm going to go east for this big opening, and then I'm going to go west for the opening. I'm going to puddle jump these openings to avoid the trees instead of flying over. But I fly with some of these guys here, down here in the Raleigh area, called the Sod Squad. Hello to Sod Squad guys. Man, they fly straight over those trees. So they got a different level of courage than I have. I don't know. It just seems, if you talk to your airplane, if you name it, Titanic, Titanic had a name. Titanic was what, 92% successful.
Right. Yeah. Shane says, well, he's asking because mostly Appalachian mountains around here, you'll hit a tree before you hit water.
Yeah, good point. And we got the Appalachians. I think so. I think if you're that crowded in trees, and what's it cost to throw are you talking C or G?
He's probably talking G.
I mean, where do you don't have a lot of room for a rope, do you?
Probably not.
I mean, we've got, in the C's, we have saddlebags. You can get to the saddlebag. Like I'm thinking about putting a fire extinguisher in mine. What are the odds of needing it? But
right.
Yeah, I guess if I was more predominantly over trees, I'd want that little bit of insurance. And in the skydiving world, it's common to land in trees. But that's what got me started. So it got me hooked. And by the way, I think of that when I fly around my PP, well, C and G, but with my C, it's bigger and people can see it. And I got kids that are down on the ground waving. I just love that. We have a racetrack down here and they're doing I think it's an 8th miler, and the people in the bleachers, they're waving, and, most of them with all their fingers, and you fly around there. How many children are you impressing? That 9-year-old boy who hung in a tree, watching the guy hung in a tree. Are we ambassadors of PPGs or Cs? That we can't do that in a conventional airplane, but we can get low and affect these kids in order to restock the pond. But so yeah, in light of you got a bunch of trees behind you, below you, yes, I think a rope might be a good idea in a cell phone.
Yeah, definitely.
North Carolina, Tennessee area, small emergency rope would be likely, 6 pounds and fit in a side pocket. So, yeah.
I don't have a side pocket in my PPG, but evidently they make them, right? Yeah, it would probably be cost effective, maybe a bottle of water. Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah. Duckspit says, carry dental floss. If you land in a tree, you have someone to bring you a rope. You toss down the floss to tie on the rope.
Yeah, I like that. I've
heard that idea before.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Well, 550 cord doesn't weigh that much. You can get a good strand of parachute 550 cord. That's like duct tape. That's a multi-purpose string.
Yeah. And then back to skydiving, Paul in Las Vegas said, not jumping. He's an old man now, little under 1,000 jumps, static line jump master and camera flyer. Yeah.
You need a camera jump to be an estimate if he knows what an IE is. He's an SLJM, SLIE, and you have to, oddly enough, one of the prerequisites, you have to have a camera. You have to be an FAA rigger, but you have to have a camera jump, as I recall. And there's a lot of skill running a camera. It is some precision flying. So 1,000 jumps is very solid. It's very safe. Actually, 200 jumps, you're kind of dangerous because you're really cocky. 1,000 jumps, you realize you're not bulletproof, and that's respectable. But he's not jumping anymore, so all he's got is memories.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty important. Hopefully, he's got pictures, guys. Hopefully, you know, any newcomers to the sport, get photos. And I'm a photographer, you know, but get photos now. And people, they don't understand how, and it could be the corniest photo. It doesn't matter. Get photos, and I say this a lot. I also run a photo booth business, and I get people who are shy. They don't want to stand in a booth. And I make this point commonly, and I'll kind of make it here. We each, in theory, have 8 great grandparents. If you think about it, you know, 2, 4, 8. We have 8. Does anybody know the first name of any of your 8 great grandparents? Probably not. You got 8 to pick from. So my point being, 100 years from now, ain't nobody going to know us. Nobody's going to remember us. But if you've got digital photos floating out there, there's a chance. So get pictures, you young guys, you know, young girls. Get photos. Get photos of your dog in your airplane, even if you're not flying. Ground photos. You know, flying in the air, everybody looks alike. But stand next to your love, your machine, and get photos. Are digital photos now precious.
Reading Scooby here. He goes, I pass my talking crown to Billy. Nice. Scooby's a talker too.
Yeah.
So, somebody else, Bill H says he carries dental floss. So yeah. What about those survival bracelets that they make? You could use something like that. I don't know how much they could use.
Well, they're
for that.
commonly 12 feet.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Twice your height.
Okay. All right.
So have you had any close calls in all of your ventures?
Have I had close calls?
Yeah.
I've had, yes, I have.
What was the worst?
Gosh. I was at Pope Air Force Base, just out of Fort Bragg. God, what year was that? And we're there for a Mako briefing, how to jump out of airplanes, although we all knew how. And a jet fighter crashed into a C-130, and the fighter ejected and exploded and killed 23 paratroopers. You know, that was exciting. I've had 3, what I would, you know, people ask me, how many airplane crashes have you had? Well, how do you define an airplane? But according to the FAA's definition, I've had 3 airplane crashes. Gravity sucks.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Okay. Tell us what you're missing tonight, where you were supposed to be.
Well, I would have been back by now. But I mean, I do the photo booth thing. It's kind of on weekends, but my week, if you the bulk of my week, I'm a prison minister. You know, if I took how many hours, and tonight I've never missed a night. I've never missed a Wednesday night since COVID. We started back up a little over a year ago, and I couldn't get anybody to cover my shift. So what's called a blue card. I couldn't get any blue card holders. So I had to miss that to be here, you know. But you know, here's the thing. I went to California. I'm a biker. I rode my bike. I went to Michigan, and I left Michigan. I turned right, and I got to Salt Lake City, and I turned left. And I was gone for a little over a month. At the time, I was in 3 prisons and 2 jails, and I was gone for over a month. And I got back and cleaned up and got back into the prison. And much to my surprise, they were all still there. So by me missing tonight, I'm pretty sure probably the next time I'm going back is Monday. They're still going to be there. So This is important stuff. We're ambassadors. We need to get this down, and,
Right.
for a lot of reasons.
And we appreciate you for taking the time to be here with us tonight,
Thank you.
for sure. Thank you, sir.
Well, we haven't talked paycheck yet, but no, I'm grateful for you asking. We'll work out the details later. But
Okay. Crap, Deweese, that was your department. But Linda says thank you for your service. Bill H says thank you for your service. Everyone in the chat here is thank you for your service, Billy. So back to Paul in Vegas. He says, now it's, oh wait, am I missing one other one, Paul? Did you say something? He says here, I agree about the photos. Also, I tell new skydivers and pilots to log their jumps and flights in detail. Reading my old logbooks is such a kick and a memory flood. And
it's key. It's a very important, because what happens, people have a tendency to exaggerate. If you made 100 jumps and you didn't log them, you're going to say you made 180. You need to log them. And then I look at my logbook, and my entry in my logbook are 7 lines. There's 7 entries. And I was looking at it yesterday. I was going through a couple pages. That's 7 times I went to the airport and 7 times I returned. That was 7 shots of adrenaline. So they mean the same with jumping. I have a lot of 7,000 jumps is a lot of logbooks, but absolutely, he's absolutely correct. Pass it on to your grandkids,
And he says now it's easier to just let the app record your jumps or flights, but write down the details. In 20 years, you'll read it and enjoy it.
I think so. I agree.
Yeah. Well, hello, Angie Drum. Angie's a skydiver, and she's had some health issues, and she's trying to get back out there. She was on my show in the past early on, and she climbed out on the top of a biplane and jumped off, fell off, whatever you want to say. That was crazy. So
Adrenaline. It was adrenaline climbing up there. I guarantee you.
Oh, I'm sure.
I was on a South Carolina with a couple friends and made a base jump off a tower. We had to climb this tower straight up. I can't remember how much feet. It was a long way up, and it was exciting at first, but after 1,000 feet, it's lost a lot of its excitement. And we're talking about experience. We got on top, and I don't want to drop names, but my friend jumped first, and his parachute hit a guide wire, and you could see he hit the ground hard. And I jumped down. I jumped to see if I could help him. He was already dead. And then his sister jumped down, and I said, "You don't want to see this." And of course, she was hard-headed, and she went and said, and all of us got arrested. They took our equipment. Take your chances.
Wow.
Somebody asked a question up here earlier. Scuba, did you ask a question and I missed it? Oh, Duckspit. Ask Billy if he jumped with Gator.
Is that a person or a college?
I don't know. I'm assuming a person.
A Gator. Again, most of my jumps are Fort Bragg area. If so, don't ring a bell.
Okay. See if he responds at all. Bill H is asking, do you know about Gaggle? The app called Gaggle?
Negative.
Okay. That's a newer, and it gets updated, and I used it last winter, and it was kind of cool because when I took off on the frozen river, it would tell me, I don't know how often it updated, like if it was every 5 minutes, and it would update how far I was away from my LZ I just left from, the wind direction. And apparently it tells now if you have any incoming or nearby aircraft near you. So put that one on your phone when you're out flying.
We use what's called ForeFlight, although it's expensive.
Yeah.
ForeFlight and there, that tells you, you can see the airplanes. I mean, you can see a little triangle. You can see them all. It really tells you, gives you a lot of information. And I have it on a Apple cell phone that's on my lap, on my knee, attached to my leg, my thigh when I fly, and I can see the other aircraft. And you can't get any more detailed. It shows rings around the airports. It shows where you're at. It shows where you've flown. It's I don't know, $250 a year or something. And then you've got to have the equipment, another $1,000 or something. Inside the airplane, it's $2,000 just for the airplane. But
Right.
there's a little one you can carry that really, it's just internet to your cell phone, you know. But I'll look into it's an app called Gaggle.
Yep.
Yes.
Gaggle. Gaggle.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
Yep.
Jay, did you want to do the spinny wheel?
Why? What time is it already? Oh my
7:51.
goodness. Okay. Yeah, we can do that real quick. Hold that thought, Billy. Okay, hang on. I gotta get to my share screen giveaway. All right. Give everybody 30 seconds. If you haven't made a comment in the chat and you want to get on the spinny names, go for it now. We'll give away a keychain again, okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck. John Wayne.
John Wayne. Congratulations, John Wayne.
My goodness, that guy is so lucky.
You ought to know his address by heart.
No kidding. I think my mail lady knows John Wayne pretty well. All right, let's see. Paul is also asking Billy, do you ever get over to Quincy, Illinois? I'm assuming that is.
I did Quincy for years. Yeah, I
Is that
did.
Illinois?
Quincy, yeah, it's a big drop zone, a big Skydive gathering. That was a huge part of my life when I was, I don't know, 20, 21 years old. They used to have it, and I think it's Indiana. They moved it to Quincy, and you jump jets, you jump a lot of strange aircraft in Quincy. It's, no, I'm surprised. Are they still doing it there annually?
I don't know.
Or does she know?
I don't know. Let's see if he.
It's well worth stopping by and seeing, even if you're not a jumper.
Yeah. Deweese?
Duckspit says, man, he knows Gator with the Black Hawk down at Barefoot Landing. You familiar?
Talking about Gator again.
Yeah, I heard.
Okay. All right.
Doesn't ring a bell, but I'm sure it'll come to me later.
Well, let's see here.
And Angie said, I only know the Summerfest in Chicago. They got a skydiving school in Chicago too. So, all right. Who were we waiting on? Was it Paul waiting to respond?
Paul?
On the answer? All right. Any other questions for Billy at all? Billy, do you have anything else?
No,
What about-
I think it's great what you guys are doing. I think, we're, again, I gotta use that big word, ambassador, but we need to promote this sport in any facet, any way we can, and get this out there. When you go to Jade's channel and you put a like, no matter what, while you're waiting for the commercial, I don't know if they're commercials, but hit the like button, subscribe, get this information, share. tell other people about this. It's the algorithms are so dependent upon your like will bring somebody else into the sport. If every time you like one of her videos, you brought somebody into the sport. We have to do what we can, and we have to be role models too now. We can't be out there getting drunk and getting stupid, which we did when I was young.
And
although I tried to talk them out of it, but.
And every one of the people that followed in the chat are role models too, because if our guest has a question, they might have a good answer or somebody to lead them to where to get the answer or get equipment fixed or something like that. So
the camaraderie of this sport it's equal to the military. The camaraderie that, again, I go, the SOD squad, our local Skydive, our local Powered Paramotor, I think I'm the only shoot, they're PPGs. The camaraderie and the help, they'll without a hesitation, they'll come and help you. It's tremendous. They're tremendous. And I suspect it's the same with you everywhere, all right?
That's the way it's supposed to be, yeah.
Fly-ins, you go to fly-ins and you see these, that's some good times with the fly-ins. Attend them. Don't make excuses. Go to your local fly-in, support them, spend money, put them on the map. We need to promote this sport. We need more people. And then the gear goes down. More people buys equipment, it gets cheaper, etc.
All right. I got to share with you Billy's TikTok. I think it's pretty hilarious what
it's amateur hour.
He is. He is on social media. He is on Facebook at Billy Cole. And Deweese, what else? Where else was he?
He's on, let's see, I got it. He's got Photo Booth NC on Facebook.
On Facebook.
And Instagram.
Instagram. What was it? I don't know what
that
was.
Same thing. Photo Booth NC.
Photo Booth NC. And then he's got gun101.com.
Yep. And then on TikTok, he is I Can Fly #2. It's just the number 2, and it's all spaces, no underscores. And then he's got a paramotor picture, or it's 360 cow.
Well, I didn't know that was still out there.
It is.
That's 3 people. Like, what? Well, 360, because I do 360 photos and videos, house people, realtors. I do really. So cow is camera operations work, but it just didn't. I thought it would by now it'd be like McDonald's or Walmart. It didn't take off. So now it's imagerync.com. But again, I'm drifting away from that and going more towards photobooth.nc.com because I'm trying to promote that. It sucks shooting out in the heat of North Carolina in February. So photo booths are inside. So I'm getting old and lazy, I guess. Photobooth.nc.com if anybody's in North Carolina.
Okay. Now, I want to share a couple of these. These are kind of funny. You had me giggling the other day here.
Oh, my.
Gosh, since we had that national alert, I got plenty of RPMs, but I'm not getting any thrust from this airplane at all. I don't know what the correlation is. Any experts?
I can
I gotta find your videos where here they are.
Hey, hello, TikTok. I'm feeling a drag when I taxi to the right. It pulls me to the right. Any thoughts that Could this be the problem? I don't know. Thank you now. I'm looking at buying this airplane, but I've flown it a couple times, and even by myself, I can't seem to obtain V2. It just doesn't rotate. It just doesn't. Any mechanics out there know what I'm
All right.
Yeah, I do that whenever I'm at an airport and I see a dead plane. I record it, you know, because we got to have humor in life, guys. I will, shameless plug for Jesus. Okay, I'm a big fan of Jesus, and we need that, but we need humor too, and we need love. Okay,
Justin
and we
says
need
it ain't got no gas.
no gas. I've heard that. Yeah, I get a weird response to those videos, but I'll keep doing them. I'm very amateur with that, but it's just something I play with, and
that's okay.
I can't even spell TikTok.
Oh, well, if anybody wants to join in and talk to Billy direct, come on in. We'll wait and see if anybody wants to join in for a few minutes. Otherwise, we'll probably just let Billy go, call it a night. Paul actually asked, is that a Mode C transponder on your PPC?
Boy, they've really done, that's really old school. They pretty much, it's rare to have a Mode C anymore. You have them, but it's only for congested airspace. Thing called ADS-B in and ADS-B out. I don't even know what it stands for anymore. Has replaced Mode C, but it is the exact same thing where they can see us, ATC can see us, and but now it's more advanced where they can see all planes, we can see all planes. It's far better mousetrap. Just look into it. It is a lot of money. It is a lot of money, but again, that's doing this gig with Jade. Every bit of money I can get, helps. So, any donations you want to send?
That's right. Help me, guys. Well, I do know that there is still a Mode C down in the Chicago area because I just did my sport class, and looking at the map, there was a Mode C line on the map.
No. That's Mode C air. That's airspace. That's for airspace. That's different than this electronic device that goes into your airplane. Yeah, the airspace, ACD,
Yeah.
There's no B, and this is something PPGs should learn airspace, because we get in trouble if we fly in non-control. A C you can't fly in a C without permission, for example. So no, that's talking about the controlled space at the airport, Jade. Okay. Not a transponder that's on the airplane, which I know they still have them. Don't get me wrong, but everybody's going away. That's like VOR. That's Vortec. That's all. Got to go with the new age stuff. Yep. All right. Well, let me look real quick. Let's see what we have on the schedule for next week. Oh, we have a husband and wife. Kramer actually got me Catherine and Jay Land. Kramer went to Lone Star school with them, and they're down in the Texas area. And I believe Jay is PPG and general aviation, and Catherine is working on her PPG stuff, and she's converting to trike. So it'll be a fun one to hear from a husband and wife team also. So hope you guys can make it next week.
Billy, you've been very entertaining.
Yes. You pack parachutes too, right?
Well, okay. Everybody who jumps out of an airplane has to pack their own parachute, or packed by an FAA certified rigger. So yes. And I've been out there. If you see me out there, I can and it take me 20 minutes to repack your reserve. No fee at all. And better yet, I could show you how to pack. I can. It's not an FA certified. There's no seal with the PPG world or the PPC. So yes, I can pack a parachute.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
That'd be a good one to do. If anybody's in the Raleigh, North Carolina area, look Billy up sometime and maybe meet up with them. So my question is, I was talking to somebody today and I had to get a checkup, and the nurse had asked me what happened, and I showed her my tattoo of my paramotor, trying to explain what a paramotor was. And she goes, "Oh, I was going to jump out of an airplane." And she said when they were on vacation one time, but she said it was like a full day wait, and then they decided not to. It was like $800 per person, and then they went somewhere else on another vacation, and then they were going to do it because it was only $400 per person with the camera and video and the jump, and then they had to sit through a 4-hour class. So is that normal, sitting through a 4-hour class? And what is the price ranges? Does that sound 800 to 400? Is that about right?
Well, I mean, that's like saying, what's a powered paraglider cost? There's too many. Well, you got the trike that adds $2,000, right?
Yeah.
So there's too many variables. Now they have a tandem. Now it seems to be the biggest thing now is a tandem jump where you're attached to a tandem master. That's 20 minutes. That's 20 minutes of training, and that's usually around $300. You know, you can get a videographer, photographer that can jump and line up with you and take pictures. But now a lot of guys wear GoPros on their wrist and they can do it by themselves. So there are in the neighborhood of $300. Call your local DZ, pick a nice day. And you know, if it's, let me say this, if it's remotely in your heart, go do it. Go, you know, you could be a world-class skydiver and not know it. So go jump. Now the tandem, I don't think they do static lines anymore, but I could be, you know, and I think they're fading out accelerated freefall. So, but another thing too is the wind tunnel. If you're in an area, look at Google wind tunnels in your area, and it's not the same air, but it's a very, very similar. And then go jump. Everybody should, if it's in your blood, and it is, if you're a pilot, you know, go make a jump. It's extremely safe. The most dangerous time is the ride back, driving back with the adrenaline, you know, trying to duplicate that. So it's extremely safe. And people, I don't want to jump. I'm scared up there. I'm scared of heights. Nobody gets hurt up there. Nobody. No, it's always the last half inch. So, and you're there at the last half inch right now. So don't go. If you want to wait for good weather, do that, but go jump.
Okay. I know I would do one of the tunnels, but I can see myself doing a flip and then getting stuck up on the ceiling and then having them to shut the air off.
Oh, where have you ever heard that happening for a beginner?
That's just my luck.
No, it's very controlled on your weight. They know how much I jump in, I sink to the bottom. They don't give me enough fan. They don't think I'm as heavy as I am. But very tightly controlled. You know, you get to North Carolina here, Raeford drop zone. The Paraclete owns it, and they got a wind tunnel too. A shameless plug for those guys here. If anybody in Carolina here, go to you know, nearby. Dollyville's got one in Tennessee. Find them and go tunnel. Better yet, go jump.
Angie says an instructor goes in the tunnel with you.
Okay.
It's some 20-year-old kid. I mean, there's not a certification instructor. He's just a guy who's real good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're not by yourself. No, you're not by yourself. You demonstrate you can fly fat, dumb, and happy, and then they'll release you. But at the end they'll spin. Yes, they will take you to the ceiling. Generally you get 2 sessions, and they're going to take you up to the ceiling. You know, it's adrenaline, guys.
Okay. There we go again. Adrenaline. All right. Well, Billy, thank you so much. We all appreciate you taking the time out to hang out with us tonight.
Yep, it was enjoyable.
Thanks for the
Hopefully
invite. Appreciate it. Everybody like and subscribe and like every single time, guys. And share. I guess the sharing's a big thing too. I do have a YouTube channel as well. You get the word out. You have an obligation. Get the word out. If you carry a gun, carry always. If you go to church often. Appreciate y'all. Everybody's got my emails, my websites, and then there's my phone number as well. If anybody needs anything at all.
Thank you so much.
right.
Thank you, ladies. Do I
Billy,
leave
just-
here?
No,
Do I
you
hit the
just
leave?
stick around
Stay
for
right
a second, okay?
Stick
All
around.
right.
Okay.
We'll
All right.
see you guys all next week and keep flying safe. Bye, guys.